So today we're going to be learning about volleyball. Let's see. So we're going to start off with the history of volleyball. So volleyball really started in like 1895, so like well over 100+ years ago. One of the instructors, William G. Morgan at the YMCA, he kind of looked at elements of basketball, baseball, tennis, handball, and he wanted to create a game that would be like less physically demanding for all the businessmen that came there. So at the time, he called it Mintonette, but then they changed the name to volleyball. So about a year later at Springfield College, the first game of volleyball was played. And in the early 1900s, a special ball was designed for the sport. As you can see, the blue volleyball, you can see it's kind of, it's still spherical, but it's a little bit different than what like a soccer ball or like a basketball would look like. And then in 1916, the NCAA was invited by the YMCA to kind of assist in like editing all the rules, help promote the sport. And by 1916, volleyball was also added to school and college physical education and intramural programs. So volleyball wasn't added until like 100 years ago. And in 1922, the first YMCA National Championships, they were held in Brooklyn, New York. There was 27 teams from 11 states. By 1964, this was the first year that volleyball was introduced to the Olympics. It was in Tokyo. And in 1969, the executive committee of the NCAA proposed addition to volleyball to its program, so kind of added volleyball to the NCAA. And in 1996, two-person beach volleyball was added to the Olympics. So you see there was like a little over 30 years until beach volleyball was also added to the Olympics. Let's see. So I kind of did this page a little separate because I thought it was interesting. There's a lot of different volleyball associations. So in 1928, the U.S. Volleyball Association, which is now just known as USA Volleyball, it was formed. And in 1947, this one was founded in Paris. It's I'm not going to completely try to pronounce it, but it's like the International Federation of Volleyball. And then in 1965, which is interesting, the California Beach Volleyball Association was formed. So it was formed way before it got added to the Olympics. And then in 1983, the Association of Volleyball Professionals was formed. And then in 1986, there was a Women's Professional Volleyball Association that was formed. So for any of you who have not seen what a volleyball court looks like, you'll have, this is kind of the dimensions and what it looks like. You'll have a center line, which is where the net will go over. And then about 10 feet back, you'll have what they call the attack line. And then 20 feet behind that, you have the end line. And so when you look at a volleyball court, it is 60 feet long from one end to the other end, and then it's 30 feet wide. So generally you have about 3 people standing kind of, either in front of the attack line or behind it. So each person kind of gets about 10 feet to, kind of like move around and try not to run into each other. And then the net height for men is 7 feet and 11.5 inches, so just about 8 feet. And for women, it's 7 feet 4 inches. So the volleyball net is just as wide as the court is. It's 30 feet wide. But just so people don't run into the poles are put at 36 feet apart. So there's about 3 feet from the end of the court to the poles on either end, so no one runs into them. So there are different positions and rotations that you have in volleyball. So in PE, when you play volleyball, we'll just simply call it would be left forward, center forward, right forward. We would also call it left back, center back, and right back. Whoever is the right back at the time is the server. And And if you were to go and rotate your positions, it would go as followed. You would go from like the right, and then you would go to the center. The left, you would go up, center, and then over here to the right. So one thing I thought was interesting when I was putting this together is the libero, is the official title, can only play in the back row, and they have a certain set of rules that they have to follow, such as they cannot attack the ball at the net, so they can't go in front of the attack line. They have to play a set for an attacker from the front, and they have other rules as well. But also, the most interesting thing I thought is you can always tell who the libero is on any volleyball team. So if any of you have ever watched volleyball at Antioch High, anywhere else, you know, they always wear a different colored jersey from the rest of the team. So that's something I thought was pretty interesting. I'll go over the rules, and then this is about all we'll do for today for the PowerPoint. So the basic rules of volleyball is you have 6 players on the court at one time. Like I said, you'll have 3 in the front, 3 in the back. You have a maximum of 3 hits per side to get the volleyball to the other side of the net. A player cannot hit the volleyball twice in a row. So like you can hit it, you could pass it to you could set it to one of your teammates, and then they could set it back to you, but you can't hit it twice in a row. You cannot catch, hold, or throw the volleyball. All you can do is you could set it, spike it, bump it, but you can't actually catch it or hold it or even throw it. Touching the net while hitting the volleyball is a violation, which if you do that, the other team automatically gets another point. If you do not serve the ball over the net, the other team also, that's another way the other team could receive a point. So if your team does not serve the ball, to get the ball back, your team must make a point. So if you didn't start with the ball, your team must work together, get a point, and then you get the ball back. And then after you receive the volleyball back, then what you do is you'll do the rotation, and then you'll serve from there. Let me see. Okay. Does anyone have any questions, comments about what we just went over? Anything? Okay.
The joys of talking into the abyss.
I know. And it's so weird because all there is a little screen in my corner, and I'm just talking and waiting for people to say something. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to do a warm-up, a workout, and then we should have enough time for a cool down. So everyone get to their... Oh, wait, let's see. Oh, thank you, Isaac. I try to be a little straightforward. Volleyball, I would probably say, is almost less confusing than football, because like Coach Dudley was saying, with football there are a lot of like little different rules. Volleyball is fairly straightforward. There's some technicalities, but not, I would say probably not as much as football. Does anyone have any other questions or comments before we get ready to start the workout? Okay, if there's no questions or comments, everyone get to your workout spots, and we are going to warm up, and then like I said, we'll do a workout, and then we will cool down, and I will get that started. Okay. Let me know if you all can hear the sound. This is my first time sharing the screen.
Warm-up to get you ready for those intense workouts or whatever workout you may be doing. So this should be done before your exercise. It's going to loosen up that entire body. So let's get right into the routine, guys. 5 minutes long in 3, 2, 1. Starting with alternating high kicks, guys.
No sound.
Okay.
You might have to... You might have to close out of the screen share, and then when you open the screen share back up, when you see like your options for like desktop one or programs, there's a little thing above it that says include audio, so you have to have that turned on.
Okay, oh, I see it now.
Yeah, I forget all the time too. So you just turn it off real quick, click that, you turn it back on.
Okay, it should work now. Okay.
Whatever workout you may be doing. So this should be done before your exercise. It's gonna loosen up that entire body. So let's get right into the routine, guys. 5 minutes long in 3, 2, 1. Starting with alternating high kicks, guys. Have that leg come up as high as you can. You can do this walking or in place, whatever space allows. Having your leg come back a little bit on the way back. Get an extra stretch. Remember, you're kicking up as high as you can. Really try to hit that hand at the top, coming up as high as you possibly can. And now we're going to alternate toe touch, guys. Alternate. It's for those hamstrings now. Just like a straight-legged deadlift, one-legged. Obviously, it's body weight. You're loosening up, guys. Always do it at your own pace. Really focusing on loosening up the body. You're not working that hamstring right now. You're loosening it up. Squeeze the core for balance. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Alternating knee tuck. Come up on that toe. Bring that knee to that chest. Keep breathing, guys. You should start developing a sweat during your dynamic warm-up. So dynamic means you're moving around. Static is when you're still. Dynamic before your workouts, static after. 5 more seconds. Really get that stretch, guys. And now alternating hip turnouts, guys. Bring that knee up, pass that hip, and then turn it out. Alternate. If you feel anything cracking, that's just your joints getting loose. This is where we're trying to work on resolving that tightness. 5 more seconds. 2, 1. Alternating lunge with a twist. Twist over that knee, guys. Loosening up that lower body and that upper body right now. 5 more seconds. You're going into rising torso twist. Start down, guys. 30 seconds of this. Slowly bring your body up to a standing upright position. So you're all the way upright, guys. See, I slowly came up, loosening up that entire torso. In the back slaps, guys. Really focus on getting those rotator cuffs loosened up on the way back. Stretching out that chest. Our lower body should be feeling much more loose onto that upper body now real quick. 10 more seconds of this, guys. 5 more seconds. Loosen up that upper body, guys. Into forward arm circles. Start small, slowly get bigger. Only 15 seconds forward, guys. 5 more seconds. As big as you can. And backward small. Slowly getting bigger. And 5 more seconds, as big as you can. Now get that blood pumping into some butt kicks. 15 seconds, guys. Pump those arms, get your whole body into it. You loosen that body up, then you want to get that heart rate up, that blood pumping. Into high knees. Get those knees past that hip. 3 more seconds. And the jumping jacks, guys. So when you really develop that sweat, Loosen up that body, guys. 2, 1, 15 seconds of burpees. Now remember, you're not working through it, you're going through the motion. This is the loosen up, guys. Loosen up that whole body to end it. 1 more. Whew. And that's 5 minutes of dynamic warm-up. You see I got a sweat.
Hopefully everyone is nice and warmed up and ready to work out. We are going to be doing a full body workout. If you like this video or this type of workout, let me know in the chat. And maybe between Coach Dudley and I, we can do a little bit more of these.